Hi everybody, we're back up on the van. I really don't want to be back up on the van. I wanted the solar panels to be wired and done, and they are technically, but I did it incorrectly. I just gotta rewire it. That's the whole goal of this video, is to rewire my solar panels in a way that's safe. The way I wired my solar panels in this first attempt that I did when I cut the hole and did everything is called parallel. And basically what it means is every single wire runs into a combiner. And this is one of the less critical issues with this method. But if you do it like this, you're gonna have one wire, then you're gonna have two wires, then you're gonna have three wires, four. At the end, I'm gonna have 8 wires bundled together, which I do right now. The reason why I'm changing it is because in this method, it adds up the total amperage of this panel, this panel, this panel, and this panel. This panel has 9 amps, 9 amps, 9 amps, and 9 amps. Add that together and you've got 36 amps. We'll just use that as a baseline. So the way that the wire works is whatever gauge, whichever thickness and size of the wire, dictates how many amps can run through it. If you have 9 amps coming off of that panel and a wire that can handle 20 amps, you're totally fine and totally safe. The issue comes once you've combined the wires. So then we have 9, 9, 9, we have 36 total amps all going into a connector. Now these connectors, for whatever reason, the nice consumer product that they are, only handle up to 30 amps. So the way that I've wired my solar panels creates kind of a problem. Instead of adding the amperages, I'm gonna wire it in series, which adds the voltages. And also, a completely less critical thing that it does as well is it takes all the extensions out of the way. I don't have to run all 8 wires to the back of the van. I only need to run 2, one from there and one from the end to the into the van. So one thing to keep in mind is how much voltage your solar charge controller can take. Mine can take, I believe, up to 150 volts. Each of these panels run at 21 volts. So add that up, you've got about 84 volts. That's well within my range for my solar charge controller. So actually, let's show off how I actually wired these in parallel, just really quick, just some footage of this getting wired in parallel and then the wires entering into the van. Let's show off that part, and then we'll do the first half as parallel wiring, and then we'll do the second half as series wiring. Just be absolutely sure you can wire your solar panels in parallel before you do it. But here's how the parallel wiring works. I'm gonna drill the hole for this entry gland back there. But first I need to get all the cables managed and ran back there. One of the issues I'm gonna have to fix is these cables are really long. So all of these wires are then come up here. I'll probably try to zip tie these 3 at this point, and then these 4 right here. And these are gonna keep running along and pick up this wire, and then we're gonna keep running and pick up the next wire and pick up the next wire until ultimately there's a channel of 8 of these at the very end. My zip ties, no. Those things are better off on the ground. There's no wind down there. More loose right here, like right in the middle of the panel, and there's gonna be 5 wires in the middle of that panel and 7 in the middle of that panel. So like if these are jumping up, I don't want that. So I was thinking I could put a zip tie under the T-track and around and get all of these concealed to the T-track. I'm gonna run a test. I'm gonna run a test. Say this is the top of the van, this piece of scrap wood. When I push this down, we've got, can you guys hear that? We've got it uneven, so like the surface area isn't what I want it to be. But okay, so I got the tape, right? This is the tape I've been using on the roof. That's pretty flat. So then, stick this onto the tape and press down. It is good, but also like I think you can see through the tape to the other side. So my experiment didn't technically work exactly how I wanted it to. Okay, one of the biggest issues of this whole thing, and kind of what I've been trying to figure out, is like all of these wires have to go into here, and then they loop out and they become 2 wires. 2 thicker gauge wires to be exact. So this is 12 gauge wire. This output wire is 10, which is fine, but I just didn't know that was oh God. Oh God. Oh God. What did I do? Not a big deal. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that happened. I'm gonna take it under the solar panel, so it's gonna run, instead of it going over the solar panel, it's gonna go under. I'm gonna zip tie it to the stuff that's already under there. That's pretty locked in. This is where the entry point will be for all these two wires will go in right into this point. So I'm just taping it out, and now we know where it's going to be. We got 2 holes cut, 1 and 2, wires go in there, easy enough, and then we're done, hopefully. So for this entry gland, I'm just gonna use the same tape that we used under all the solar panels, and I'm just gonna put that under there. Should be pretty sticky, and then afterwards I'm gonna run some sealant around the edges just to be extra sure, but this is pretty waterproof as well. Okay, this part's pretty satisfying. It's like almost a putty now, so you can kind of see what it did to that edge. So hopefully it's just gonna do it to this one too. Looks pretty cool. I'll take it. Basically, all I'm gonna have to do is cut zip ties, take off extensions that I wired for parallel, take off the extensions, fix the mess of wires that I have, and then I'll be good. This is all of the positive leads right here that I had tucked under the solar panel. All of this was tucked under that solar panel because I ran it in parallel. You kind of see why I'm now like on team series for wiring. I've got it figured out now. So this is my negative and this is my positive. So I'm running the positive wire about 10 feet. I mean, you can kind of see it laying on the ground down there. I'm running this wire all the way to the back. So that'll be my positive main wire, and then I'll run the negative wire off that back panel into the entry gland. Basically what you're trying to do is just avoid connecting like this one to its positive counterpart. So then now this negative will run to that positive right there, and so forth, and that one to that positive, and then that negative wire will be the one that runs into the gland. I'll make a diagram or something so this makes a lot more sense. So I made it through that installation pretty much unscathed, besides cutting my finger whilst cutting a zip tie and then almost passing out. But other than that, we're fine. So this video is basically just me fixing the mistake of running my solar panels in parallel and running them in series instead. But at least you guys got to see how it looks in parallel versus in series. But now it's safe. We're running 85 volts. Instead of 36 amps, and my wire can handle that, so that's good. If you want to follow along and see the rest of the electrical setup, subscribe. It's going to be a really interesting one. Lots of battery storage and lots of stuff to run, so should be fun, and I'll be detailing all of it here, at least detailing, I guess. Just capturing the experience is probably a better word. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.